afternoon, YouTube. I've got it right. I've got the time right. It's about 12:30 today, and we've just watched The Rite of Spring by the company. It's
the Seeta Patel dance.
Now, we don't know who chose this one because I thought Jane chose it. She thought I chose it, and I think
it's not on my list.
It's not on Jane's list. Anyway, and we wouldn't normally choose dance because this is down as dance, physical theatre, and circus. It is not circus.
No.
It's definitely physical theatre in a sense, and it's definitely dance. Now, again, I know very little about Stravinsky's Rite of Spring ballet, which he did in, a bit more than
1913,
yeah.
Apparently.
Do you want to read the description bit? Because that obviously mentions the fact
So this is off the Fringe. Igor Stravinsky's avant-garde score stunned Paris audiences when it debuted in 1913 and has been hugely influential ever since. Award-winning choreographer Seeta Patel reimagines this iconic ballet in the powerful classical Indian dance style Bharatanatyam.
Well done.
Apologies if I've got that wrong.
Yeah.
Bridging two very technical, powerful and evocative art forms, Western classical music and Indian classical dance. Discover a transformative retelling of this pagan folk story through intricate rhythmic footwork, expressive prowess, geometric and dynamic movements.
Now, I don't know, did you know the narrative of the story? Because I have to say, didn't.
No,
so neither of us did.
No, I didn't.
And probably one word of advice is don't do what we did. Do a little bit of research. What I will do is I will put a link to the Wikipedia page, actually, because the Wikipedia page has the whole of Stravinsky's Rite of Spring broken down into sections. And I looked at this at the end because I knew there was a narrative going on. I mean, for me, that didn't spoil the performance.
No.
Because it was just incredible to watch these guys do this amazing dance.
I've now gone back to another page, and this is from 2018, and it's talking that Seeta has created a compelling excerpt of the iconic Rite of Spring with a view to creating a full-length work with 12 dancers. Well, this had 6.
It's had 6 dancers, yeah.
And some of this is repetition from the Fringe.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I mean, all of that was said.
Yeah.
But interestingly, just taking from that the fact that it says it's an excerpt, well, we then went to the synopsis and structure of the Stravinsky ballet
from Wikipedia.
Now it's in part 1 and part 2. Now I think
you think it's part 2.
I think it's part 2.
Yeah, but we're not sure.
No.
And like I say, I don't think that in any way that detracts from what is an incredible piece of.
Oh gosh, no.
It's filmed beautifully. The lighting and the staging is fantastic. The music sounds. The production values are brilliant because it's really, really powerful. And it's not a criticism of the thing, it's a criticism of almost the size of your TV. I sort of wanted on occasion to see them closer. Now, if I'd have been in a theatre watching them, say, sat in the stalls, you've got quite a large stage to view. And I don't know how big our TV is, what is it, 30 inches or whatever. It just looked quite small on occasion.
Funny.
Further back.
It's funny, I disagree with you on that.
Okay.
I loved seeing it as a whole because so many times the images were sort of in silhouette form, and the fact is that they were doing almost ensemble pieces because you'd have maybe a central character with characters sometimes in front, sometimes behind, to the sides, and because of the expressive hand movements, you wouldn't get that image as a whole if you were focusing too much, because it would detract for me.
Right.
I loved seeing, and it worked as a whole, because like Ian said, the use of lighting, and also at the back of the stage was a screen. So not all the time, but a lot of the time you would have their shadows. Depending on what lighting was being used, and I was watching it because sometimes it was the shadows were very defined, so you get this real feeling that the whole sort of stage was full. Other times it would be a lot more subtle, and you just get this sort of movement, because you'd realise that the movement that was happening on this screen was the dancers in front, but it was very subtle, so you just got a sort of feeling of movement. And like on other times, you could actually define, it was clearly defined, and it was almost like another body mirroring the movement. But it was absolutely stunning and beautiful.
It was. And it's not a ballet in a sense. It's a dance piece, isn't it? Because it's certainly not in the traditional sense.
Well, that I suppose it's not traditional Western ballet, and
it's
fact that they've
Southern Indian.
Yeah, it is this style, which I'm sorry I cannot, I can't do it off the top of my head. But
some of it is. I mean, I briefly looked this up. It's because the way they walk, it looks slightly unusual and that's part of the, I think, Southern Indian traditional dance of this thing we find it difficult.
Well, I can see it. I can repeat it if I see it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you're so very conscious that they're barefooted, but you get the use of the toes turned up, and you suddenly realise how pronounced that's obviously the style of dance. But the use of hand, but sometimes it's interesting, it was the feet that I was concentrating on, because the shapes they were making.
Yeah.
And then there'd be other pieces where you were much more aware of the hands, and they did some beautiful things with the hands. And interestingly, it wasn't always a sort of flowing movement.
No, it wasn't.
With the fingers outstretched. No. Sometimes it was almost a sort of mechanical, very fast movement, but so effective. And the different colours of the lighting, and just the whole interpretation of the movement to the music was brilliant.
It was brilliant.
Absolutely brilliant.
There's a section in, I'll call it the second section, because we're this long sort of first section, and the second section, and because apologies, but I don't know Stravinsky's Rite of Spring, and it was so beautiful, but it struck me as being more Indian than Russian. Do you know the piece I mean? It was almost ambient, wasn't it? It's a very short piece.
Oh, that very tiny piece, yes.
Now, and I don't know whether that's. Like I say, I'd have to go and
there were two
listen to the album.
That's right. There were two very distinct parts, and then this tiny bit in the middle,
which was beautiful.
Beautiful. And there was a voice.
Yeah.
It was the use of a voice, sort of a lyrical, just a sort of tone.
Yeah. Now I don't know if that may be in the original.
I don't.
But it fitted really well if it wasn't.
Yeah.
But it was, like I say, it was particularly beautiful. And after the sort of bombast of some of the louder parts towards the end of the first movement, we'll call it movement. And then to have this nice lyrical sort of piece was quite breathtaking, really. I mean,
it was stunning.
It was stunning.
Visually stunning. Yeah. It's only 40 minutes long.
Yeah.
And it is quite beautiful.
It is. And
it would make me really, if I saw something advertised and I knew it was that type of dance, I mean, I would definitely go.
And I would like to see them do something else. They are doing other projects as well, obviously. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm going to keep them on our radar to some extent.
Yeah.
So when you can see it today. Now, we we were scheduled to watch it at 11 o'clock. We actually didn't start watching it till 20 to 12. That didn't seem to matter. We were able to get into the whole thing. If you look at the Fringe website now, and today is, what date is it today?
The 27th.
We're going to put this up tomorrow. It will say, so it's available tonight, which won't help because you see this tomorrow. I might try and put it up to this afternoon actually.
But when you click on, so if you click on today's date, it's available at 7 p.m. But then it's available on Sunday.
On Sunday, on the 29th. It's via, it says it's venue 460, which is Horizon Online. But actually, once you do your booking, it's through the Fringe website. It's through the Fringe online app, through the Fringe player. But so you've got very limited time to be able to see it, really.
But well worth.
Seeing.
Having a look. Just something completely different.
Yeah. And like I say, we don't normally do dance.
No, and I'm so pleased we did.
We
don't know how we got here.
I'll take responsibility for actually choosing. No, I don't know.
No,
I thought it was you.
It doesn't matter
at all, really. So, brilliant. How many stars?
4.
4 from me too. So it's a fantastic, a really good, strong 4-star show. Go and watch it.
Just sit back.
And enjoy it. You know, even if you don't bother, you know, with the narrative in advance, it was just incredible to just sit and watch these fantastic dancers to this amazing music.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks very much. See you next time. Cheers now. Bye-bye.
Bye.